Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today I'm building a little bit of a bigger home. This is a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom home in the world of Willow Creek. This is on one of the larger lots that has sort of a built-in driveway on the front of the lot. I haven't built here in a really long time, and so I wrote it down a while ago that I wanted to build on this lot in particular. There's two of them. This one's Cypress Terrace, and it's a little bit smaller, but it's still a pretty big lot. I think it's a 30 by 40, maybe. I know it's not equal on both sides. I think the other one's a 40 by 40. And I just wanted to build a big family home, and I thought it would be fun to do this just using the base game. So that way it would be easier for everyone to download, and I just really wanted to build on this lot, and I thought it would be perfect for a base game only build since it is a lot that is in the base game. So I'm just working on the roof here. I really wanted it to look unique, and I just have this thing when I build base game homes that I want them to look incredibly detailed and almost like they're not base game. So I'm trying to have this really interesting roof that uses so many pieces, to be honest. And I think it comes out nice in the end. At first, I had a different idea of where the front door was going to be and a garage space and all of this. And it does change in the end as I go through and build this house because, I was just experimenting and putting things down as I went, and it evolved over time. I love building that way where I don't have like a clear vision. I just have a vague idea and I just start building and experimenting. I think that's usually how my builds come out the best, when I don't have a very strong concept, if that makes sense. But anyway, if you do like this build and you would like to download it, it will be available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag MissGryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. And as I had mentioned, this is a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house, and it comes in at 132,995 simoleons. Which I don't think is too bad for a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom with only base game, because there are some cheaper objects in other packs, but some of the stuff that's in base game is actually quite expensive, so I wasn't too mad at this. But the roofing is coming together now. I think that I did a decent job at this. I love roofing in the game. I know that's not everyone's favorite, and actually it's probably not many people's favorites. Whenever I mention it, people are usually shocked by that. Let me know if you like roofing in the game. I just think it's a really fun puzzle to put together, so I quite enjoy it. And when I see a roof in real life, I'm automatically in my head being like, okay, these are these roof pieces in The Sims. This is how you create that. I don't know why, I just clearly see how something would be created. But anyway, over here, I was originally thinking this was going to be a front porch into the entryway, but I decided to turn this into a garage space instead, which I think looks so nice. I'm going to have to move where the front door is, obviously. But I decided to use these like square paver pieces, which are from the Show Live Edit Objects menu, as a driveway. And I think they look so nice there. And of course, using one of the debug garage doors as well. And then we should be getting a front door right over here. But I'm swapping out some windows because I just really like using these ones, which are of course base game, but they were added when there was an accidental slip up when we were getting the industrial loft kit where they showed this window, but this wasn't the window that actually came in the pack. So we did end up getting it free later on, added to the base game. So it just looks so nice. It's a beautiful window. And of course I try and use it in like every base game home that I build. I just like it so much because it's basically like the Moschino windows, but it's rounded on top. So it's quite pretty. Anyway, I think shortly here we should be rotating the house around to be backwards on the lot, just so we have a better view of the lighting, because the lighting is really weird on this lot. So I should flop it around. Here we are, to get a better look at all of the siding options so we can figure out what would work best on this house. And this is what I ended up with in the end. We have some like white paneling on the top and some brick on the bottom. I used this like brown brick that I think is really pretty, and some beautiful yellow flower boxes. And then I'm going to be playing around with the tiling out here in the front to get a nice pathway up to the door. I just kind of rotated some of them to get this effect that the blocks are a little bit staggered, and I liked how that looked, and of course getting some landscaping as well. I should be doing some more towards the end when I flip the house back around, but I wanted to get the basics here and some lighting on the outside. I thought by the front door and by the garage made the most sense. And with this house having a garage, I mostly used it as like a skill building room / just what you would see in a garage. So there's like a woodworking bench in there, and I don't remember what else. I think some workout equipment. But that's a space you could definitely turn into an additional bedroom. So if you needed a 5-bedroom house instead, this house could work for that. It's a pretty big one. And anyway, over here with the landscaping, I am creating a little bit of a rounded flower bed using this debug object. It's basically like a package your Sims can get in the mail without any of the detail on it. It's not colored properly, but I haven't done this in a very long time, but I really love how this looks to kind of frame out a flower bed and get a more organic shape. So that is what I did over here, and we're just filling it up. I primarily went with green plants over here. I didn't want to add too many flowers. I got a couple, mostly these ones, but I generally like the look more so of just a lot of greenery over a lot of florals, if that makes sense. But anyway, we're moving inside now to figure out the floor plan, and I did cut out some footage on the process of this, but you'll see me popping around and moving things around. But basically you enter into an entryway that's also an office space. We have the garage over to one side. The side that has the staircase is going to be where the living room is, and then this main narrow area is going to be a kitchen and dining space with a primary bedroom out in the back, and then the other bedrooms are upstairs. The upstairs on this house is a little bit smaller because of the style of the house. Having those roofs the way I have it makes it so the usable space is a lot smaller than it appears on the outside, because we can't really have slanted rooms in The Sims 4 like you could in real life. They'd definitely be bigger if you had that sort of house. I know I lived in one like that for a while, where the walls were shorter on the edges and the roof kind of, the room on the inside was kind of the shape of the roof. But unfortunately, we can't do that in Sims. So I had to make do. But this is going to be where the kitchen is. I am just placing down some cabinets to get an idea of the layout. We will come back to it in a little while to decorate it, but I thought that these were going to be perfect. I do switch the swatch of those to a darker color as I go ahead and decorate, but those are the ones I end up using. I mean, we are in base game, so I am a little bit limited, but upstairs now I'm trying to figure out the layout, and we have these really awkward shaped rooms over here. I tried turning them into separate things and adding additional bathrooms, and in the end, we just have 2 L-shaped rooms. There's 2 L-shaped bedrooms. I think it works fine in the end. I've definitely seen some weird shaped bedrooms, so I don't think it's that bizarre, but I was really trying to make it not happen. But we ended up with it in the end, and I'm quite happy with it. Anyway, I just painted the flooring in this house this really dark brown. I think it is so pretty. This is one of those floorings for a really long time we only had one swatch on. And then a couple of years ago now, when they did the swatch update, we got so many new swatches, and this brown one was one of them. And it is just so pretty. The base swatch of this was like almost a white, and not quite white, a very, very light wood. And so all of the more rich, deep colors that it had, I think are really exciting. But yeah, just in here trying to get all of the cabinetry and a sink and all of that. I really like the peninsula that this kitchen has with a couple of stools. And I decided I wanted to have tile in this space as well. So I swapped that out a couple of different times, and I actually ended up going with a herringbone brick on the floor, which I think looks so nice. I ended up using that in the bathrooms as well. I think it just looks a little bit more up to date and unique, because obviously the base game came out in 2014. That's a long time ago, but I feel like herringbone has been more in recently. Let me know if you agree with that, but I feel like I see more and more pictures online of people with herringbone brick floors or similar things like that, and I've always really liked the style of it, so I thought it looked nice in here, and it was a little bit different than just putting a tile down, since we are limited on base game tiles. And then I did build part of this over on Twitch, so chat was like, we have to have a cutting board, and I was like, but the cutting board is with Cool Kitchen. So we went in debug and found a base game cutting board and put it up on the wall, and I think it looks really nice. I rotated it with the tool mod to get it to actually lean, and I love it. I wish it was easier to place down. I could probably save that in a room, and so I could just grab it off of the gallery to place down more easily. I might do that because I think it looks really cool. But anyway, the dining space is here just off of the kitchen. It's pretty simple, just using one of the tables that we got a while back. I believe this was one of the tables by Hey Harry. And then the chairs were in a recent update earlier this year, where we got these chairs and a like pedestal table. And I just thought they looked nice. I tend to go for the more new items to base game when I do base game builds, because obviously they have more detail and are more recent in textures, and I just think they look nicer because the team has gotten so much better at making objects over the years, whereas some of the things that are from 2014 you can tell. But of course I use a lot of those as well because that's primarily what we have in the game. So I do use these base game sofas that are unlockable. They're still one of my favorite couches in the entire game. It's just such a nice, comfortable, normal looking couch. So I do use those in here, and right now I'm not liking how the living room looks. I really struggled with this space. I just wasn't liking it, but we get there in the end. I just have to change a lot. As you can see, the rug disappeared. We're putting in a different rug. I think that helped so much. For some reason, I've never really liked that striped rug. So I was trying to make it work, and it just wasn't. I also end up getting a couple of chairs in here, I think, like little kid chairs, if I'm remembering correctly. There's these chairs that look like bears. Yeah, these ones. I think they are so cute. Or maybe, oh yeah, I did get two. I got rid of one of the sofas. I thought that this would be adorable since this is a family home. I was imagining there were quite a few Sims living here. I wanted to add a couple of things that were actually for the younger kids. So we have a toy box over here, the couple of bear chairs, a big toy that I got rid of because I didn't like how it looked. We just keep going back and forth, and I'll figure it out at the end. I'm just going to keep moving stuff. And I decided to put the TV actually up on the fireplace, and we get some like crafts on the table as well. So I'm just searching through debug. So we have some glitter and pencils and crayons and glue. I also have this little book that I think is like to serenade your Sims. So it's supposed to be like a little poetry sort of book, or looking more like that. But I was thinking it could be like instructions to whatever craft they were doing. And then I, of course, got a little side table back here. I do that whenever I have an awkward space. I'm like, we're going to put a side table. I feel like that's what I would do in real life, too, if I was decorating a space. But over here, just getting a couple of bookcases to fill up the wall. And then the toy box ends up over in that corner instead. And, of course, getting some more artwork and a couple more kids' toys and a book bag. You know, just really trying to make this space look lived in. But moving into the downstairs bathroom now, I think this might be the only bathroom I show on camera. They're all very similar in fixtures. It's just this one's only a half bath, so I have a sink and a toilet in here, whereas the other ones you have a way to bathe. So I make sure that there's at least one shower tub combo in this house because I was imagining a toddler was living here. And I should add like more things for toddlers throughout the space at some point. I hope I remembered a toddler potty. I honestly can't remember, but I probably did. Oh, well, I shouldn't say I probably did. I probably didn't, but I'm hoping that I did. But one of the rooms upstairs does end up being for some toddlers, and I think it comes out really cute. I'm very happy with that space. But we're not there yet. We're in the entryway office nook, and it's right by this huge window in the front of the house, which I adore. I think this is such a beautiful office space. I would love to have a big window like that. I say that because they're so pretty, but I would also be like, I don't want people to be able to see me. I don't know. I'm weird like that. But anyway, I did get the corkboard here like I always do with lots of postcards on it. We have pens and pencils, an open book. I thought a nice comfy chair in this corner would be nice as well. And then I also added a closet here. I was thinking that was more for the entryway, just like additional place to hang up coats. But this is going to be that garage space I had mentioned. So I'm just grabbing a couple of like workout things and the woodworking bench as well. I was thinking these were some good base game items that made sense to be in this space. And I also wanted it to sort of look built in. So I put a couple of these counter pieces over here as well and a sink and, you know, just trying to make it look a little bit more interesting. We are pretty limited with base game, but I grabbed what I could. Because one of the things I usually use in here is like the decoration box from Seasons, laundry machines. So I put some of these laundry hampers instead. And then I also put a debug car in there just to be like, this is a garage. And we hit the space. So decided to do that, but we are working on the primary bedroom now. I'm using a bed I never use. It's very traditional compared to the rest of the house, I feel. But I do swap some of the colors out and try and make it match a little bit better with the rest of the house. But I was just trying to do something different because it's not a bed I ever use. It ends up being a little bit more of a neutral swatch. I know it's pretty neutral right now, but the browns just, I wasn't happy with them. So I ended up going with this one instead with the leaves on the bedspread. I think it looks so much nicer. And I brought in some green with those curtains and the rug I have in here, adding some plants. So it's like traditional, but a little bit more updated. Maybe it's called like transitional. I don't remember the name of this decor style. I watch a lot of like videos on different like decor styles occasionally. I just like watching interior decorating. And so I can't remember the name of this style. I want to say it's transitional, but I think it's really cute and it makes sense for the base game, for base game builds, since we do have older pieces that are a little bit dated now, to do something in this style. So I'm just painting a lot of the walls, bringing in some exposed brick, just trying to make the space look nicer and, getting a little painting over here in this empty corner. And I wanted to put something under it, but I couldn't figure out what. So we're moving upstairs now to the upstairs bedrooms. This one is a bunk bedroom for 2 kids or teenagers. You can decide who you have in this room if you download it. It can be for whatever family you have in mind. But I decided to use the bunk beds in this space because it's a really awkward shape. And I don't use the bunk beds nearly as often as I feel like I should. So I do keep them blue, but I change one of them to the blue and black, like lightning bolt version to add a little bit more personality and make it so the 2 Sims have different bed spreads. Because I think it's kind of unrealistic for kids to have the same one, because I would think that they probably want to show their personality a little bit in that space. So yeah, just getting some dressers. I have these little cubes over here with all of the little icons on them of what could be in each drawer, although I think this one has animals on it. There is one that's like, this is socks, this is underwear, all of that, but just getting some fun, colorful posters, a little piggy bank, some books, bedside table lamp. I really like how this room came out. I think it's really fun. It's very blue, but I thought that the posters added a lot of personality. I particularly like this one that I added right next to the bed that has the glasses and the fun hair. That is a poster we got added, I think within the last year. That it was an update that an artist had drawn that and it was added in. And then I decided to have a combined desk space over here. So I used a big table with 2 chairs at it, and we have a cork board, a pride flag, a bunch of paintings, and then I also got 2 of the closets over here so that each of them could have a separate space for their wardrobe. I thought about adding a dollhouse, but for some reason I just didn't feel like it fit in this space. I think maybe one of these kids is a little bit younger, so I did add a Blurfy over here instead. And then I got a couple of these framed posters. I really, really like these. They're, of course, from base game, and we've had them since the beginning, but they're still one of my favorite paintings in the game. It's just they're not one I use in like a living room typically, unless I'm doing a very specific decor style in like an apartment. They're more of a bedroom or play area artwork that I use. I guess would be perfect for like a movie theater if you have like a movie room in your house, which I don't build very many houses that are big enough to have that, but I have done it before and those work really nicely in that space. But anyway, this is the other bedroom. There are 3 up here. This one is more so for a teenager. I just wanted it to look cozy. So I'm using this blue bed and a bunch of more neutral things in here for the most part. I wasn't really sure the whole direction I was going for with this room. It was a little bit of a struggle for me because I really wanted to use a bed I don't use that often, which was this one. And I think the swatch of the bed is so pretty, but I really don't like the frame. I just really like the blanket. So I was trying to make it work. And so I added a sofa over here, and we have, I believe I added like a TV for some gaming if your Sims wanted to do that, although we don't have game consoles in the base game. Maybe they're just watching TV over here, and we get some posters up on the wall as well. I was thinking maybe they were into working out. Maybe some of the equipment in the garage is stuff that this Sim uses. But they have a TV over here and a little coffee table, just like a cute chill space. And I'm switching some of the colors to make it all work together a little bit better because I just wasn't happy with it. I don't know why I had so much trouble with this room, but it does come out okay in the end. Like I said, it's not my favorite of the rooms, but it does come together and it's different than something I've typically done. And we are limited with base games, so I can only do so many different things. They do have a laptop in this space, though, which is quite nice. And I think the blue on the bed is so cute, and they have their own sofa. I wish I had a sofa in my bedroom growing up. That would have been so cool. Oh, yeah, and I changed out the artwork for space stuff. I thought that was awesome. Anyway, this is going to be the toddler's room. It's very purple in here. I love that. I really love this base game wallpaper with all the flowers on it. So I really dove into the purple color scheme in here. And I decided there would be 2 toddlers in here. So this house has enough space for 5 kids, which is quite a lot 5 kids, 2 parents, so 7 Sims, and you could turn the garage into another bedroom if you needed to. So you could probably have an 8 Sim household here, which is the max you can have without mods. I do add Blurfy in here, and then I add like a changing table situation over in this area of the room. I don't remember if I'm fully making a changing table or it's just a dresser, but I was thinking that's what it would be because generally speaking, in like a baby or toddler's room, their dresser has like a changing mat on the top, so that was the idea of it. And I also really liked adding these pink trees in here. I just thought that they were a cute detail, and we got some clouds and hot air balloon decals in here as well. And then, of course, getting a little bedside table. I don't know if we have any other dresser in this space. I don't think we do. I think I just tried to decorate over here with a couple of toys I can't technically play with, but they look like toys. So I had like a bunny and a giraffe. And then this is the upstairs hallway. I don't think I show much of it. I think I just show this little table in the corner. It's very simple. Rotating a mirror with tool though to fill in the space better, because I think this mirror actually looks way better horizontal than vertical. So just placing that here. And I think I get some sort of decor on the table. Oh, I swap out the table because I thought the green didn't really work here. And then scaling down the rug before we head outside to decorate the backyard, which is fairly simple. I just have some planters and some monkey bars for the kids to go ahead and play on. I should also be getting a table and chairs and a barbecue, all of my like basic background stuff or backyard stuff. So I grabbed the trash can. We're getting a mailbox out front, and I wanted to make sure that it kind of fit in the area and felt more built in. So I put some plants around it, so it wasn't just a random mailbox. So we're just going around and adding some more greenery, finishing up some landscaping. I did put some planters around these bushes by using a low-lying fence, which I think looks so much more intentional and just really nice that way. So I thought that that worked nicely for this backyard. And this is that table and chairs, just putting a lantern on the table. So there is a little bit of lighting at night if your Sims go out there. And of course, adding some terrain paint as well. Just to finish off this house, I kept the landscaping pretty minimal, but I think it looks nice that way. I didn't feel like this house needed a ton of landscaping. We just have a couple of trees and a couple of clusters of bushes with a few flowers throughout, but that is it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Enjoy the screenshots. Bye, everyone.